And right now, from England, from the UK, I'm very pleased to welcome to KUSF the Stereo MCs. We got Rob B, the Head, and Owen If. So we just heard from for the first time on the radio, in fact, the only copy, the new mix of Lost in the Music. Is that going to be released here in this country?
Yeah, maybe in a while. We just kind of, like, the record company still, like, you know, want to work the record that's out at the moment a while. So we want to put that track out maybe in 6 weeks or something.
So you were around here before. You came through town, I remember, during the GAVIN report, which is just like a couple of months ago. So what was the reception like? I mean, you have a different style from what the American rap audiences are used to.
Oh, it was cool. The reception was all right, you know. I mean, we're just kind of like letting people see what we're doing, and we're not trying to make any big deal out of it. We just say, you know, this is the stuff we're doing, and, like, you know, we just want to open people's minds to, you know, like a kind of slightly different sound.
Yeah. So what's it like over in England? It seems like over there that people are into more different types of rap, and the sort of the house music blends more the hip house style.
Well, yeah, I think when rap started in England, it was like everybody wanted to sound American, you know, or the rap sounded American because that's what everybody had been listening to. But, you know, for us it was like pointless trying to sound American, because the whole idea of rapping is to rap how you are, you know, like, and the raps on our records are just like where we come from, and they sound like we're from England. And, you know, if people can't deal with that, then, you know, that's okay by us, but we're just being honest about what we're doing, you know. But in England, I think rap's really kind of diversifying now. There's like groups like Massive Attack, Definition of Sound, a guy called Blade.
I love them, Definition of Sound. They're really
good.
There's
a lot of people who are just like really kind of taking the music in a fresh direction, you know. They're like really trying to like broaden it out more. I mean, that's not saying that it's trying to sell out the music, you know. They're just putting a different flavour to it.
Yeah. Well, it seems too that over in England, I mean, they're open to new sounds, but there's sort of the downside of that is, like, I know how the Enemy and Melody Maker and the British press, I mean, they're very fickle. Like, 1 week you're the greatest thing, and then like 2 weeks later they criticise the hell out of you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you just do what you feel in your heart, don't you? And, you know, you just kind of do it and don't listen to those people. Yeah. I mean, everybody's out to knock you, really, aren't they? You know, you just do it and it comes over eventually.
Yeah. Well, what about you guys are also really producers as well? I mean, it's like you have dual careers, right?
Yeah, well, we go under the name Ultimatum as well. We kind of mixed other people's records for about the last 3 years, starting with, like, we worked on about 3 Jungle Brothers songs. Yeah. Money Love, we did like the mix of It's a Shame, which is kind of like the rap mix, not the house mix.
That's on the American 12-inch too.
Yeah, it was the A-side in England, our song, but I think for over here they decided it got to be like, you know, a club mix or something like that. So, but we done mixes for X-Clan, Definition of Sound, Dream Warriors. We just wrote a song with Misha Paris.
As what? Sugar Hill Gang.
Really?
Yeah, we done loads of shit, man.
So what about like working with the Dream Warriors? What was that like?
Well, they just asked us to mix one of their songs, you know, because we kind of know them because they're pretty big in London. And
in fact, they're over there right now, aren't they, over in England?
Yeah, I think they are, yeah. I think they're doing a show with Gangstar at the Brixton Academy. But they're cool, you know, we're kind of into their stuff, so we just mix their song.
They're also like pushing the boundaries a lot too, bringing in a lot of different sounds. So when you work with these people, like with the Jungle Brothers, do you come up with suggestions? You say, well, no, I think you should do this, or, you know, do you like change the sound for them, or?
No, I mean, we were just mixing the tracks. We weren't working, you know, we weren't doing it with them. Although the last one which we done was, I think, Doing Our Own Dang a while back, and we actually did that. We finished mixing that in New York, and Africa and Q-Tip and those guys were there. So it's kind of nice to actually be mixing it when the people, you know, with everybody who'd kind of been involved with it in the first place was there. And actually it was in the same studio that they recorded it in originally.
Yeah. One thing I want to ask you about is, you know, like a lot of times we were talking about with Money Love and doing the different mix. A lot of times here you see where they go the UK mix, the UK club mix and the US club mix, and you see that on English imports too, the US mix. I mean, is there supposed to be a different sound that you're supposed to dance to in an English club versus here? I mean, is that the way the industry thinks?
We've had trouble because, like, somebody from our record company in New York wanted us to do a remix, like, that he thought would be a club remix for, you know, America, and they got this guy David Morales to do a mix, who is basically a house guy, and we didn't really want him to do it, but we gave them the benefit of the doubt and said, but if we don't like it, you ain't putting it out. And they did it, and he was just trying to make us sound like Snap or CNC Music Factory.
Change the whole thing.
Yeah, basically to make it sound like a different group. and we said, forget it, because we want to do this on our own terms, and we sound like we do deliberately. It's not like we're doing it as a mistake or something.
It's just one of those things record companies like to do, man. I mean, a good record's a good record. I don't think it really matters what country you're living in,
I agree.
I mean, you got some nice music, and it's going to happen. People, human beings is human beings, and if you've got like some nice rhythms going, human beings is going to like it.
Yeah. I think they just had trouble using their brains to understand how to market us or something.
But you just stood up to them and said no.
Well, yeah, we said before he done it, if we don't like it, we don't want to put it out.
I mean, they're cool about that, because they say, like, we want our groups to, like, be kind of satisfied, I guess, with what they're putting out. And, if we don't like something, it doesn't go out. And that's the way it's always been with us anyway.
That's the trip, man, the way that they do that. I imagine there's so many artists who have things put out that they're not happy with, but they can't, because of contracts and that it just goes out without their permission.
Yeah, I've heard
can destroy their career.
Yeah, a lot of dodgy mixes go out, I think.
I mean, after Soul to Soul and now after CNC Music Factory, I mean, there's almost like duplication. Everything is exactly the same. It's like a formula that they think, well, this will sell, so let's do it, right?
Yeah, you turn on the radio and hear all those kind of house records. It's like they could be all the same people, really. It's just producers getting faces to make records.
Right. Well, anyway, I want to play another one of your records, and also want to give away some tickets, and then come back and talk to you a little bit about the radio, what it's like over there in England right now. So anyway, we were talking there off the air about like MTV and radio and all that. So what's going on as far as hearing good new music in England compared to the States? What's it like?
I mean, in London, there's like KISS has been made legal, which is cool, because they just play dance music 24 hours a day. But the pirate situation is terrible. Now if you're found doing a pirate station by the police, they can just close you down, but then they get your address and they can go to your house and basically confiscate your whole record collection.
Really?
So like a lot of people just can't be bothered anymore.
Because for a while there was a lot of cool pirate stations.
Yeah, there was you could find 20 anytime, but now it's like 2 or 3 if you're lucky. And like the rest of England, it's like Radio 1 is the national radio station, and that's, it's kind of like a bit like MTV. It plays the same 5 tunes all the time. It's something you don't want to hear. They just get some kind of pop record that nobody's heard of and just play it over and over again until it kind of brainwashes people into buying it.
Also, too, I was reading recently where, it's changing here, but England is different from the States as far as how the charts are compiled. Like there, it's based on record sales, and I read somewhere where there was a group of people going out and they'd go and buy like maybe 100,000 Huey Lewis records, and suddenly it's number 1.
Yeah,
right?
Could be, yeah.
So it's easy to manipulate. Well, what I heard that was it in Birmingham or Coventry that there was some cool station. There was like a soul station where they mixed like had house and rap music.
Maybe Birmingham. I've heard a few passages.
That's a legal one, right?
It could be. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I think it works in different areas. I think they just kind of real heavy on London at the moment.
And what's the club scene like over there for rap music and house music? I know that those acid raves were going on for a while.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of totally boring, It was like going for about a year, and that's all anybody ever did was house raves, and kind of like hip-hop got sort of pushed under the carpet a bit. But I think in the time that the house raves were happening, I think that's when all the kind of artists actually like developed their music more, because before they were like making records which maybe like 1,000 people in England would have bought, because they're the only ones that would have understood what they're going on about. But now they kind of realise they've got to get their messages over a bit clearer. So they kind of, I think they just worked on their music a bit, and now it's stronger.
And that's it. Well, getting back to your music and the sound of the stereo MCs, one thing that differentiates you, if it's separates you from a lot of the rappers today or the crews, is that you have a live drummer, Owen If. Mm-hmm. So, what do you think the advantage of having a live drummer versus a drum machine? Or does Owen want to answer that? Or no, he's relaxed over it.
No, I mean, it makes it liver. It's like we feel more in control of like putting over a real, kind of hopefully an exciting live show. And also when we kind of got Owen playing the drums, we we were being stuck in like clubs with not very good sound systems, just the usual kind of thing, promoters saying, oh, they can get away with doing a rap show without spending any money and basically ripping people off, and there's a bad sound. We wanted to kind of change that so that people can go to our show and know that we've done our best to get a good sound system and make it, like put something over.
Right. Well, anyway, tomorrow people can go along and check you out. You're going to be at the DNA Lounge doing a show. This is not to be missed. I would recommend everyone go there. It's not too expensive to get in. We're not allowed to say dollar figures on the air, but it is 6 units of something to get in, which is a deal, I think, to go see Shot of Soul opening for the Stereo MC. Shot of Soul will go on about 9:30, and you guys go on at 10:30, and it'll do about 40 minutes or so.
Yeah, something like maybe a bit more.
So people have got to go and check you out. Well, Stereo MCs Rob B, the head, and Owen If, who is silent in the background. I want to thank you for coming in to KUSF.
That's cool, man. Nice.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So good luck. And who are you going to produce in the future? Any new artists you're going to work with,
We don't know yet because we've kind of been away from home so long. We haven't kind of worked it out.
Right.
We want to go home and do a new LP.
I want to get that first album. The first one was never released here domestically. Yeah. I'm going to have to go.
That was a long time ago.
What year did that come out? 88? 87?
88. Maybe it was 88 or something.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm going to go shopping for that first thing tomorrow. Okay, Stereo MCs, thanks a lot. We got one more pair of tickets for you guys at the DNA tomorrow. Just be caller number 4 at 751 KUSF.
Yeah, everybody out there, this is Towards Town. Going out to everybody with a positive mind from the Stereo crew. The head, Rob B, Owen If. Wishing peace to everybody from the Supernatural.